Thank you. I was reading another book about Hawke, and it was very much said that his prime ministership was at the start of a time when the Labor Party really started focusing on opinion polls, and one of his early attempts to take the leadership was on the back of very favourable opinion polls. He was Mr 75%. Given every party's now major focus on opinion polls, do you think that the changes that Hawke and then Keating got through would ever have been able to be achieved in a climate like we have today?
No.
And I guess, do you have any feeling on where to from here in the Labor Party and on the back of Hawke's and Keating and now Rudd and Gillard, what can be changed?
Going to where we are, of course, I'm delighted we've got a female Prime Minister, and I'm a Labor person, obviously, and I sincerely hope that she wins the election and goes on and has several terms, but that having won the election, she will then have some freedom to move and to bring in policies which, at the moment, walking over eggshells, it's sort of nothing can be mentioned. It's the policies that dare not speak their name. But I think there's a broader issue that you're really alluding to, and that is that in all of the democracies, they're being overtaken by opinion polls and by the 24-hour news cycle, which is extraordinarily destructive for politics generally, I think, because the politicians are being pushed to do things and to make decisions on trivial issues which they shouldn't be. They're being forced to appear in public too often, to talk too much, to react too much, and it's not allowing time for reflection, which, of course, we must have if we're going to have a wise society. Who was the British Prime? Macmillan. Macmillan said, when asked what's the most difficult thing about being Prime Minister, and he said, events, dear boy, events. But that's right.
And he didn't mean media events.
And he didn't mean media events. He meant the Suez crisis and so forth. But we're getting to a stage where everything is overheated with the media. There's tweeting, there's texting, there's blogging, there's thising, there's thatting. And frankly, we're moving out of the sort of democracy that we appreciate into we don't know what.
And
so that's
quick one there.
Yeah.
Doesn't that just change the dynamics of how a leader has to hold their nerve?
Oh, you mean all the blah blah blah?
There are always things that challenge a leader's ability to hold their nerve.
Yes, but I think it's politics has reached a point of restlessness that is dangerous for it.
We have time for one more question at the back.
Blanche, just following on from what you said, I work in the area of leadership, and the thing that really worries me now is that the leader can't really be a leader. We need leadership, we need strong leadership to, go on. But the nastiness that comes out from the media is just horrible. And the other thing is that I never hear anybody say anything nice about a politician. If you're a politician, they hate you. But I think it's really dangerous. And I often think that if people turned the microscope inward on themselves as much as they did with politicians, it would be wonderful. But we actually need to stop what's happening, and I don't know, how to do that. Have you got an idea?
No, I haven't. But it's genuinely destructive and very worrying. I lived for 4 years in a military dictatorship, and that was in Indonesia under Suharto. And it's it's a very, you come to value the freedoms of democracy enormously. And the people who, the young media people who are doing this and encouraging this sort of immense restlessness and cynicism and negativity about politicians do not know what fire they're playing with. That's, I mean, obviously it's not going to, we're not going to be taken over by a military junta anytime soon, but we shouldn't think that just because it's all fine now that it will continue like that. A greater positivity and a greater generosity is really needed.
Well, I think we've had a lot of generosity from our two people on the podium tonight, and I'd like to acknowledge the support of Melbourne University Publishing in making tonight possible. I'd like to thank Blanche especially for sharing a number of thoughts with us, but I think thoughts that really show how deeply she has thought not only about the subject in question, but about life in general. And I think the media issue is one that we should all take home and think about. It's becoming, as has been said, a big issue in the way democracy is run and how we as citizens interpret the information we have. But Blanche asked whether Michael would interview her, and I think that says something in itself. He very kindly said yes, and I know that he's put quite a lot of work into tonight. So a collective token of our appreciation from Blanche and myself, a small gift to take home.
A book!
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bob.